U-Haul, then I found a U-Haul. You know, it was just like everything started lining up the way I needed it to line up. And I just kept repeating that mantra to myself the whole entire day. And it was fabulous.
Yes.
That's awesome.
Wow, that is wonderful. Well, just like I'm so glad to hear that. And just like I told Kari, just this makes me feel really good to hear the good news that you guys come back with, to apply all the things that we talk about, or not that everything has anything to do with me. I don't mean that, but I mean, it makes me feel good if I go on YouTube and I hear somebody's success story. I don't know, has nothing to do with me, but just to hear somebody applying the things that we talk about, right? And say, okay, this actually does work. And no matter how many times I hear it, it's like no matter how many times I eat, I still get hungry. No matter how many times I bathe, I still get stinky, so to speak, right? So every day coming back to it, hearing it again, hearing somebody else's, just the encouragement that you get, the confidence that continues to grow and build as a result of repetition of hearing. Your faith comes by hearing, right? Your expectation, what you think is reasonable and rational, grows and expands as you keep hearing things that are mind-blowing. You're like, no way, could you do that? But somebody else just did it, right? So it encourages you to apply it. Something that you would think, no way. But once you hear somebody else do it, it just opens your consciousness up just enough to change your mind, just enough to try it, right? Because there's only, just like a scientist, you can never prove a theorem without being willing to experiment. You can never prove your hypothesis, and everybody will prove that it's true. How can you do that without an experiment? How can you do that if you're not willing to be a doer of the theory, right? To prove it or disprove it, but do something. So that is super cool. Super cool.
It was awesome. I got so into it, I made up a song. I'm like,
that's when it's fun.
Yes.
Exactly. I'm singing this song, and my daughter's like, "What are you singing?" I'm like, "Everything is working out for me, me. Everything is working out for me."
Hey, man. Hey, sing it, rap it, dance it, romance it, whatever it takes.
Rub it down.
Whatever makes it real to you. That's all. That's right. The couches are real. So whatever makes it real to you to get the reality. Hey,
Motown Philly back again.
That's it. That's it. Oh man, that's wonderful. Wonderful. All right. Well, hey, welcome everyone to another Saturday school. Another Mindset Saturday. We're in Saturday school, except we're not in trouble. We're not in trouble. This is not because of what we didn't do. This is because of what we're going to do. This is because of what we're doing. Right? So welcome everyone. Welcome to another Mindset Saturday. Man, where we remember how to think in order to live the way we want, and realizing that we are living the way we think. So we are choosing how we think, and therefore automatically choosing how we live. So welcome everyone. Glad to see you all again. Made it to another Saturday, and we're gonna keep it pushing and get it going from the beginning. All right. In case you can't see it, right? Education. Not connotatively, right? Not how we use it. What does this word mean?
Knowledge.
Knowledge, okay.
Separation from ignorance.
Separation from ignorance, okay.
Someone in the chat said to learn. Jolie said to learn.
To learn what?
Just to learn.
She just
Just
said
to learn. Okay. So this word is kind of a combination of a couple of different words, right? Educare, educer, educere, educatum. So essentially what this word means, it's broken down kind of into two things. It's broken down into the kind of the E and the duco, the ed, the E, this part, and this part. Shun is just the act of. as a suffix. Shun is just the act of, right? Or like in relationship to, depending on the word. Okay, so E means basically to bring from the inside out, to draw out, to drag out. Right? That's what the E part of that word means, right? To bring something from the inside out, to draw it out, to drag it out, to pull it out from the inside. It doesn't mean to create it. You can't bring something out that doesn't exist. It's already in there. So it means to bring something out, to draw something out, to drag something out that already obviously has to exist. Duco means to develop and to nourish. Right? So I know it's a little crooked on the side, right? It means to develop or nourish. That part of juco, right, means to develop or nourish. The E part means inside out, draw out, drag out. So essentially, when you are educating someone, the first educator of children are parents. Of the child is the parent. It's the first one. That's probably the most important, really. But it means, so essentially what you're doing when you are educating your child, when you are giving them information, so to speak, really what you're doing is, you're not so much giving them information. What you're doing is you're setting up the conditions so that what already exists can be brought out. Can be brought out. Can be brought out, right? It can be developed, nourished, brought out. So that's essentially what this word means. It means first you're going to draw, right, or drag from the inside of someone, that which is already in them. What you think you're putting in, you're really dragging out. And what you think you're putting in, really what you're doing is you're developing it. You're nourishing it. You're now exposing it to experience, to the world. That's essentially what you're doing. So anytime you're teaching someone something, your best way of teaching it, and I don't mean as in like your style or your technique. I'm talking about your awareness, your consciousness. Your best way of teaching it is assuming they already know it and creating a circumstance that will tap what's already in there. So it's almost like you assume when you go to a basketball game or a football game, the stadium people they're just creating the environment. They assume you already know how to play. They're not there to teach you how to play as much. They're assuming you know how to play. So all they're doing is creating the environment that you can do what you already know. The better environment you create, the more of that you're going to be able to draw out and drag out. When you put food out for your pet, you put the food out, they'll smell it, they will hear it, they will lock in on what you're doing. Right? When you create, all you're doing is creating experiences. You're creating something that's going to tap what's already in there. You're not really teaching your kids how to read. It's not really what we're doing. They already know how to read, but that's why they can end up doing it. You can't buy reading on Amazon. You can't read for them. You can read with them, but you can't read for them. You can't be their eyes. You can't, but what you're doing is by introducing the concept to them, you are now, what you're doing is you're awakening that part of their awareness that already knows how to do that. And so you're bringing that part of them that is dormant, you're bringing it, you're nourishing it, you're developing it, you're turning the light on it. And you're saying, okay, you already know how to do this. I am setting up the circumstances, the conditions that this thing you already know how to do, but you're not aware of knowing how to do, now becomes possible. Now they turn their consciousness onto it and they say, oh, this is what you mean. And so they start to, as you continue to expose them to that, like water to a flower or light to a flower, it will grow itself. You're just providing the conditions for it to grow. That's what education means. It means really you're providing the conditions that will draw out, drag out from the inside out to develop and nourish this thing that's already there. The ability you're trying to achieve at the end already exists in the beginning. So if you set up the circumstances to incentivize that, to motivate that, to inspire that, that is essentially the skill that will be developed and nourished that you will start to see. It will pop up out of the soil, so to speak, by providing the light and the water, by providing the circumstances and the conditions for that to become a part of what you would call their world. They're something you can see visibly. Right? So that's what educate means. The word dictate comes from this word. That's what teachers are doing when they're standing in front of the class. They're giving dictation and the students are taking. They are talking, right? Old school, they don't really do this as much anymore, right? But when most of us were young and you saw movies or TV shows and the boss will be giving dictation to the secretary, right? And they take this down for me, write this down. And they'd be walking around their office going like this and talking, and the person would be sitting there writing. And then that turned into a letter, or turned into a mail, or turned into whatever else it is. But it's somebody who's writing down what you're saying, right? That's where the word dictation came from, right? It came from the word education. So that's what the word actually means, right? So you're not actually creating anything. It's another really important word because just like invention, right? We talked about that. Invenio means to stumble upon. You start to realize that everything that you'll ever want or need to be, to do, or have is already in you. And your desires are really there to stimulate your awareness because it can't happen without your consciousness. You can't do something until you become conscious of it. Unconscious people, whether they're super unconscious, called dead, or whether temporarily unconscious, whether they're asleep or in a coma, don't do anything. They don't move, they don't do anything. So the first thing, in order for anything to happen, consciousness has to be present. So what you start to realize is that all these things that are already in us are dormant. They're not dead or non-existent, they're dormant. And so our desires are here to wake up those things. Otherwise, we'd never know they were there. So when you have a desire, it's just like it's like an internal invention. You're stumbling upon something. Your consciousness becomes aware, like a light, turning a light on in a room. It becomes aware that something already exists. Then you say, oh, I have an idea. The idea was already there. You're just aware of it now. You just become conscious of it now. Whatever's in that room is already in that room. Once you turn the light on, you're like, I didn't know that was there. Whether you knew it or not, it was there. But turning on the light, turning on your consciousness lets you know what's there. That without that light, you either would walk in and think nothing's there, or you would walk right into it and hope you're still standing or not injured after the fact, right? Darkness will injure you, meaning ignorance will injure you. Lack of knowledge will injure you because you're unaware of something. You'll go without, or you'll be harmed because of the lack of knowledge. Knowledge is the cause of everything. Lack of is the cause of the opposite. Lack of is ignorance. Knowledge is knowing, right? Gnosis, right? And ignorance is lack of gnosis, lack of knowing, unconsciousness. Knowledge is consciousness. Like we talked about, science means knowledge. Gone science, conscious, means with knowledge. With knowledge, everything happens. Without it, nothing happens that requires. Or that it requires. Right? All right. Everybody get that? Okay. Now I'm gonna give everybody a choice, a vote. We're gonna do a democracy, a democratic vote today. All right, I don't know if you have, I'll let you pick which one we start with.
You do a poll.
Science or the picture. You guys want science or the picture? Now we ain't got all day, so if you want science, raise your hand, yell,
Science.
shout, scream, whatever else it is.
Science,
Right.
science. I like science.
Science, okay?
Two science. Ray is here and she raised her hand.
Okay, all right. Good to see you. Or hear from you. All right, and then what about the picture? Who wants that?
I'm up for the picture.
So we got 1,
The picture.
2, 3,
Two.
3, right?
We're tied.
2.
What did I just do? How did I just do that?
Oh man.
Yeah, how did you just do that? That was cool.
Oh, wow. It's still doing it.
So we got 2-2. Come on, hurry up.
We're tied. Okay, Kari put science.
Science.
Cassidy put science. All right.
All right,
science.
all right, we're doing
Okay.
science. All right, here we go. I was talking about this week and I decided to bring it into today. We talked last week about Dr. Bruce Lipton, we talked about genetics, we talked about these things, right? And I planned on talking about it, but I was talking about it anyway, but it really kind of reminded me again to talk about it. So I was gonna do it anyway, but I'm doing it. Anyway, all right, so. Okay. Okay, so a gene, right? As in short form for genetics, right? But we're just going to use this word gene. It's the same thing. Genetics is just the accumulation of your genes, all your genes together. But let's just use the word gene just as a singular, like one gene, one gene. All right. What is another word for gene? Like think about this is
DNA.
This is gonna be a real one. Think about another word. What does a gene do? What is another word for gene?
We didn't hear Latoya. Were you trying to say something?
DNA.
And then that's what Ray put in the chat.
DNA. Okay. What does DNA do?
It tells you who you are. Oh,
Say
go
it
ahead.
again.
I was saying it tells you who you are.
It tells you who you are.
I said it holds information.
It holds information. Okay. So what's another word for gene? Let's say genes are internal. This is the another word that I'm thinking is internal too, but what's another word for gene? Based on what you described it as, what it is and what it does, what is another word?
Information, direction, code.
Okay.
Is it identity?
Close. What's the beginning of that word?
Oh,
I.
Yeah, but what's the beginning, like let's just say the
ID.
prefix. Say it again.
Info.
ID.
ID, info. We're getting closer and closer. You guys are right. I'm just looking for a particular word, but I'm stretching it because I want to see if you get it, and B, not that the word is the only right word, but I want to see what other words you come up with along the way. You guys are all on the right path. But what is your ID? Like what is your identity?
Your makeup, your representation, your
Okay.
Yourself.
the building
How
blocks.
do you know what it is? Or how do you know what it is? Or how do you know if you got it? How do you know if it's correct? How do you know?
Linton's put your blueprint.
Your blueprint.
Yeah.
What is a blueprint?
A map?
Well, okay. If somebody were building a house, why would they build a blueprint? Why would they use a blueprint?
It's a guide.
Template.
Say it again.
It's a guide.
It's a guide. But why
To
do you
ensure it's correct. To
Okay, but
understand
for
where things
who?
are going to be.
It's
For
a
who, though?
definition.
The builder.
For the builder. Who is it? Who does not need the blueprint?
The creator.
The creator. So the blueprint is really a what?
Instruction guide.
For them. Who is it for you? What is it for you?
An expressed idea.
It's an idea.
Oh.
Ooh,
Here
that
we
was
go.
a good one.
It's an idea. Your gene is an idea. An idea does the same thing as a gene. It's the same thing. Give you an example. So an idea does the same thing. What is it? It's something that you think that has an expression, right? In this case, like you said, it's an expressed idea, a blueprint. A blueprint, right? Your gene is an idea. It is expressing what? What is its expression?
Your thoughts.
Okay, who else? What is a gene's expression?
You, ultimately.
Your body, like your human experience, are dictated by your genes.
So
Right.
Sparkle Bailey says she wants to get this, and Latoya says I'm not though. So I wanted to check in and ask if they're not getting it.
Okay, cool.
No,
Oh, yeah, no,
that was to the thrown out words. I'm so sorry.
Oh,
okay.
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 Make sure you're good.
Okay, right? So your genes are individualized ideas, meaning they have an idea about what they are. And based on that idea, it's a blueprint. They now go to work based on that idea. They have an image in their mind. So you have 1,000 million genes in your body. One creates your skin color, one creates your eye color, one creates your knee, your elbow, your back, your feet. All these different things create how tall you are, how short you are, how big, small. All those are what we call genes, right? And the collection of those, we say, oh, it's my genetics, right? Your idea, right, is the same thing. It is something that is intelligent, that has a physical expression based on its idea, whatever the concept it's holding right now. Now, how do we know that's true? Or so let's say here, all you ladies, I'm assuming most of you don't have red hair. So if you wanted red hair, what would you have to do?
Color it.
Say that again. Our speaker.
Diet.
You said diet?
Oh, color it. You'd have to color your
Color.
Diet. Diet, coloring. Okay, why?
to get it red.
Okay,
Because
So-
that's not the code that was triggered in your own gene system.
correct. So guess what? So that means you have to alter it. But then if you have to alter it, can you alter it once and it stay?
Not
No,
like
it's gonna
that.
grow out.
I'm sorry?
It's gonna grow out.
Why is it gonna grow out?
Because just
Because-
because you altered it doesn't mean it altered in your genetic makeup.
So then, if you have to alter it every week to keep it fresh, so to speak, what's a word in today's society we would use for that?
A touch up.
Update.
Update. But you have no choice. As long as you want it like this, you have no choice. So when you have no choice, what are you not?
In control.
You're not altering it.
What are you not?
You said, what are you not?
Yeah, what are you not?
You're not altering your
Yes.
DNA.
What's
You're not original.
Or what else what are you not?
Your hair ain't that color.
Yeah, your hair's not that color. What are
Yeah.
you not?
Latoya said you're not in control. Latoya
You're
said
not free.
That. There you
You're
go.
not free. You're not free. You have no choice. You gotta do it. And so you know what that word is? Grinding.
Oh.
If you got to do it and you have no choice, you can't sleep in, you can't forget, you can't change your mind, you can't go broke and be not able to afford it, or broke in time, not have the time to do it. If you have no choice, you are not free. So therefore, you're grinding. It doesn't mean it took you 2 minutes or 10 minutes or an hour. It means you have no say in your desired outcome, because you are trying to manipulate something. But you can't manipulate the laws of genetics like that. It doesn't work like that. Or the laws of mind. You can't manipulate them like that. You have to know how to use them and how they work so that you can make them work for you. The reason your hair keeps coming back black or brown or whatever it is, blonde or whomever, depending on who's ever on the call, right? Is because that is the picture your mind is holding. That's the picture your genes are holding. And as long as the picture in your genes remain the same, the outcome is going to remain the same no matter how much you try to manipulate the outcome. It's going to keep growing back to what it is. An idea is the same thing as a gene. Whatever idea you are holding in your mind about anything is just like a gene. It is going to express itself automatically. That's the law. And you trying to manipulate it is only going to lead to your grinding. So when you have an idea about health, and the idea about your health is, I'm healthy as long as I'm able to get this organic wheatgrass, what happens if it's not available? What happens if Whole Foods goes out of business? What happens if you roll up to Whole Foods and nobody opened the doors? What happens if you go to Whole Foods and all the refrigerators went out overnight because electricity went out? Then what happens to your health?
Well, because you said it, then you're no longer healthy. Because you believe that, you no longer become healthy because you don't have access to what you said makes you healthy.
You don't have access to the idea. You don't have access to that gene. So you have to manipulate in order to be able to, quote unquote, control. But are you really in control if somebody else has to do it? Are you?
Not at all.
You're not in control. And if you're not in control, you are not what? You're not free.
Free.
You're not free. That's right. You're not free. Come on, we don't have to complicate it. It's early on Saturday. We're trying to keep it simple. I know this age, but we're talking about freedom here. We're not talking about holy lands. We're not talking about spirituality. We're not talking about walking on the clouds. We're talking about what you want to feel, what most people only feel on the weekends for a couple hours. We're trying to expand that. We want that to go into a day, into days, into the whole 7 days. But the outcome, the expression, whether that is your body or the blueprint, is a reflection of the idea. A gene is the same thing as an idea. It has an intelligence that is telling you this is the end that we're going to work from. This is what we are building or maintaining constantly. Until this blueprint changes, until this idea changes, until the concept that your gene is holding about whatever its job is changes, until or unless that changes, your hair will continue to grow back out. You can manipulate it all you want. You can grind it, hustle it. You can get that stays in guaranteed for 6 weeks. Even if you're swimming with the turtle sharks in the Bear Lake, okay, you can do whatever you want, but it's coming back. Because you haven't changed the creative aspect of the equation, where everything lies, exists, is determined and dictated. Your idea, your concept, your genes are an internal idea that have a concept of itself. I am the gene that does this, so I only do this. And this is what I do. And until or unless I'm given a new blueprint or a new assignment, I don't care what you do on the outside, I'm coming from the inside. Can't stop the inside. You can't die the inside. Otherwise, you could die probably once and it may stay longer. But you can only die the outside. The blueprint is for the people whose idea it isn't. You don't know what I'm thinking. So I got to give you a piece of paper that shows you what I'm thinking or what I thought so you can build what I thought. This is how this works. You have an idea of yourself. You have an image of yourself in every area and aspect of your life, whether that is a conscious one or a subconscious one that you aren't aware of, but it is still conscious. Conscious is still in the word. Sub just means below, like we talk about, or like people know for an iceberg, what do they say? 90% of it is underwater. You only see 10% of it or something like that. To that effect. Yeah, but if you dive underwater, you're gonna run right into it. If you cut the top off and you can't see it, it's still underwater, you jump on there, you're gonna land on it. It doesn't matter whether you see it or not, it still exists. Your subconscious mind, the part of your habit mind, still exists whether you see it or not. And you will run into it. You will land on it if you're unaware that it's there. And so you want to make it something that you want to run into. You want to make it something that's working for you, right? Your genes are ideas. They are individualized ideas about the cumulative or total aspect of your experience called your body, called your physical being. The accumulation of your ideas are what you call your life. Your life is made up of all your different ideas, all your different concepts of everything that must be expressed. They're expressed ideas. Your genes are ideas. Your body is an expressed idea. That's all your genes are, ideas. And when we talked last week about Dr. Bruce Lipton talking about epigenetics, epi meaning on top, there's now the research that shows you can change the way your genes function. You can give them a new assignment. Just like if you go on a construction site and they realize, you know what, this is not actually what I thought, because what I thought on paper was going to work, but now that we got here, the land's a little too moist, or maybe it's a little too hard, or maybe this building needs to be another inch higher or shorter. You can change the blueprint. As the owner of the idea, you can change the blueprint. As the owner of your genetics, you can change it because you're the owner. Every idea that each individual gene has, your hair color, your eye color, your this or your that, those things, those genes had to be programmed by someone. And if it's your genes, then who did it? And if you don't like what you did, or you want to change what you do now that you're having a physical experience, who has and who's the only one that really much has the authority to do that? Because genes are on the inside. You have the authority to change. That's what makes you free. That's your only form of freedom, is change by choice. You can choose to change or choose to remain the same, but having the choice is your freedom. Without the ability to choose, you're not free. It's not a true reflection of who you really are. Everything is coming from the inside out, just like education. It's coming from the inside out, and all we're doing is developing and nourishing the things that are coming from the inside out. So every idea you have of yourself is like a gene. It is going to have a physical expression in your life, or like your genes have a physical expression called your body. They all have been given a set of tasks, and they will repeat them, and they will never change them until or unless you change them. And epigenetics says you can change them by changing your thoughts. I'm now going to give you a new blueprint. I'm now going to give you a new set of tasks, a new set of chores. I want to now be this. But dyeing your hair or trying to do something on the outside, you can manipulate. But the point is that you're always going to have to do it, and you'll never be free. If you go to the gene, if you go to the idea, if you change your idea, the image that your consciousness is working from or working on or working with, if you change that, it automatically will, your hair will be red forever. It's just an idea. It's not hard for a white person's skin to be white, a black person's skin to be black, for your hair to grow here, to grow black or grow blonde or brown or red or whatever else it is. It's not hard for your nature to do what it does. It's hard for the unnatural to repeat it. So grinding, essentially what you're doing, like dyeing your hair, I'm just using that as a facetious example, but just an example of you can manipulate something on the outside, but you're gonna always have to do it. It'll never be that way truly, because that's not the picture your gene is holding. You can have 58,000 sales for your business. You can have 80,000, take 80,000 liters of wheatgrass. You can run 58 miles. You can do whatever else it is. That's only manipulation if it is in opposition to the gene or the idea that you're holding inside, because it's always going to come out.
Kari put in the chat, yep, any physical change must be made real by the mental. That's where the change is programmed.
That's it. The change has to be the change is basically reprogramming. That's, your genes are programmed. Why do you think you started growing? Why do you think you stopped? Why do you think you started when you started? There, that's an intelligence. That's not arbitrary. That's not luck. You started growing. You stopped growing. You have brown skin. You have white skin. You have this skin. You have this hair. You have these eyes. You have this shape of your eyes, your shape of your nose, the shape of your teeth. All of those are individualized. And the collection of that individual, all those individualized genes, created what we call the human body. That's why we all look different, because we all are harboring, entertaining, holding different ideas.
Kari said, as a software programmer, I approve this message.
Right? You start to realize, you know what makes the truth is that you can apply it everywhere. You can find parallels you would never think once you know the truth, once you understand a principle. How many people thought electricity was good because they could light a house, and now you can light cars with it? You can charge cars with it. You can do so many things with electricity that the first people who didn't know much about it could never imagine if they were alive today. Things you can do with so many areas and aspects of life that people whose consciousness wasn't open to that level yet would never have imagined that we're doing today, and we just think it's Tuesday. We just think it's Monday or something. It's just nothing to us. So what the point of what I'm trying to say to you in this particular part is, just like your genes, if you look at your body, you can tell what your genes are thinking. You can tell what they're programmed to do based on what you're looking at right now. If you look at your business, you can tell what idea you have about business, and in general, and about your own in particular. Whether it's your business, your health, your money, your relationships, business, health, money, relationships are ideas. And they have an outcome based on what type of idea you have. That is what is programmed to happen. There is no good or bad programming, it's just programming. Meaning, all programming works for you or against you. Either blows up your thing, it doesn't get you what you want, but it's still programming, it's just incorrect. Or you can have proper programming, which leads you to your desired outcome. Right? So your freedom, your choice is realizing I have the ability to change my idea, change my mind. And if I change my idea, I change my mind, I change subsequently my life. If I change my genetics, I change the idea, I change my body. It's automatic. And it will repeat and repeat and repeat until or unless you change that. Does that make sense? Are we getting this?
Yep.
Yes.
Thank you.
Right. Anybody have any, because I can go on and on, but keep moving. Does anybody have anything they want to say or ask, or I want to make sure that we have an understanding, because I want you to understand that just like we say, oh, it's my genes, oh, it's genetic, oh, it's hereditary. Yes, that's true, but it is malleable. That's what epigenetics is telling you. It's malleable, it's changeable, number one. And number two, it is true. It is coming from there. But the truth is also you can change the program. You can change where it's coming from. You can change that part of the equation to get your desired outcome, to get your hair red. So you don't have to dye it every week or color it every week. You can change the way you do, the way your idea of business. So you don't have to struggle every week. You can change your idea about health. So you don't have to struggle every week. It's just an idea that your genes are holding, or an idea that your mind is holding about this aspect of your life. And it is going to repeat until or unless you change it. It's going according to plan.
So Brianna said in the chat, the malleability comes from your beliefs and thoughts. And Sparkle Bailey has her hand up.
Yes.
Coach Lucky, thank you. Question, how do you let go of what you've been conditioned to believe is who you are, the genes? Like there's a side of me that I have been doing the most work to like let go of, and it's a very aggressive side of me that stems from protection. And so I became the femininity fairy because I wanted to, like, I was determined, I'm going to master my softness. And so life decided, okay, baby girl, you're putting it out there. We're going to challenge you. We're going to throw all these distractions in front of you to see if you're really serious about this femininity journey. And so with what you're saying, I resonate with what you're saying, but my question is, how do I let go of the side of me that's like super afraid of not being protected, to reprogram my mind?
One word. Why do you do, all of us, especially all of us, that anything that has real meaning, but especially if you're a parent or you're taking care of something that's really valuable, what's the one word that makes you do everything you do? Everything you do for your kids is because of what?
Love.
Love. Love. It's not responsibility. It's not being a good person. It's not being intelligent. It's not being brave. It's not being strong. It's love. You love your kids so much, you figured out what goo goo gaga meant. My stomach hurt. You love your kids so much, you figured out, right? You figured out a non-English language. Love. When you love, when what you want to be, when you love what you want to be more than what you are or have been, it makes what you want more important and powerful, and makes it easier to walk away from what you are or have been. When what you love is more important to you, when you love something so much that that's all that matters to you. I want this. I want that. I want to be this. I want to be that. I love this so much that this is all that matters to me. I don't care what I had before. I don't care that I was single before. I don't care that I didn't have kids before. I don't care that I was prom queen or prom king before. I'm now a parent, right? And I don't care if I never had to fix a bottle before, or breastfeed, or take my kid onto this, or change diapers. I don't care that I never had to do it. I have something I love so much that I am now going to either, I'm already capable, I'm gonna figure out, but my whole focus is on what I love.
Ray put in the chat. So then the question is, how do you shift focus from what you fear to what you love? When you love anything, it doesn't matter whether it's so-called good or bad. What I'm going to use this word. I'm going to say it. I don't mean it literally, but let's say it. When someone's an alcoholic, what do they love? The liquor.
So that means day, night, Sunday, Tuesday, Monday, Wednesday, Thursday, at work, before work, after work, when you get to an intensified, hyper intense state of something, it consumes you. Just like your love of your kids, your love of your business, your love of this or your love of that. It just becomes, the more you focus on something, it goes into another thing. stay. The longer you stay somewhere, the more you see. The longer you stay somewhere, the more you see. When you stay in that state, when you go to somebody's house and you're there for 2 minutes, you don't see that much. Spend the night. Spend a week. Spend a month. Right?
Yeah.
Right? When you just meet somebody, oh, they're so cute, oh, they're so handsome, oh, they're so nice, oh, they're so polite, or they're so this, that. Spend a week with them. Spend a couple days. Take a road trip.
Some betting.
Right? Take a road trip with them real good. Sit in traffic with them. Boy, you'll go from in the car in love to domestic violence. You just slap the hell out of somebody by the time you get out the car. In one bad traffic accident, you done went from high to oh no. Heck yeah to heck no. Girl, I'm going out. Girl, help me out. Get me out. Can you call me? Are you in a safe space? Press 8. Right? You press a 9. No, help me and come get me, pick me up, right? So to speak, right? My point is that the reason why we have a hard time letting go of something is not because we don't want to. It's just we have to identify something that intoxicates us so much that it's worth it. All you women on here, what, you only had one dude approach you in life? You've had 1,000 of them, and you had to pick which one was most intoxicating for you, which one was best for you, which one you felt like was going to give you the most bang for your buck. You had to eliminate. It wasn't a lack of options. It was picking an option that you felt was worth giving up the other ones, all things being equal, right? As men, we got to pick the best option. We got to go after the biggest catch we can get. There's a lot of catches, but we got to go after the one that's worth the hunt, so to speak. It's not a lack of options. It's identifying the one that's most intoxicating. It's identifying the one that just keeps you up at night, that makes you wake up early, that makes you do the most to have it, to be it, to smell it, to taste it, to be engaged with. When what you want is more than what you have, it kicks, it clicks. Maybe what you want, I'm answering Sparkle, but for anyone, maybe what you want is what you think you should want, but it ain't really what you want. Maybe you want something bigger. Maybe you want something more. Maybe you're hungry for something more, and trying to just be happy with what you have, that's not gonna do it. What do you want that's gonna say, I got to have that? I don't care what I was. I don't care what I didn't have, what I didn't feel, what I didn't like, what I've known my whole life. I don't care. I got to have this now. And when you find whatever that does for you, you'll drop that other thing so quick. It's not because it's easy, or so to speak, or because it's a lot. It's because the option just fades away. It's just because it can't keep your attention like that. Every time I see Gavin now, I think of ING. Every time I think of you, I think of Gavin. The way you talk about your kids. What's like all of you that I've talked to, and I learned a little something about you. I correlate you in that thing. But what we really talk about are the things that are most intense to us. Most often, especially in a short amount of time. So what I'm saying to you is when you find something that intoxicates you, when you become a idea-aholic, so to speak, when your idea captures your mind, boy, like a hostile takeover, and it's just all you care about being, doing, or having, that other thing will just be dominated. It'll just be overwhelmed by this thing. And your love for your kids overwhelms all. You're not feeling good some days. You're tired. You're not wanting to be bothered. You have other things to do, but your love overwhelms all those things because that is the most intense thing you feel, or more intensely than the other things you feel, right? So it's hard to get rid of something if we don't have anything else, right? No, bad attention is better than no attention after a while. He'll take anybody, right? Bad food, junk food is good to somebody who's starving. So after a while, so it's hard to get rid of something if you don't have anything more appealing or appetizing or just seductive or more alluring than what you have. So you find you something, whatever else it is for you, make sure it's something that literally turns you on. It'll allow you to drop all that other stuff. What did Ice Cube say? Started off with too much cargo, drop 4 people, now I'm making all the difference. Yeah, you can start off with something, but after a while, you're like, you know what? I'm better off as a solo artist. I'm a drop that. It don't matter what I used to be, how we friends. Yeah, I got to go this way. You can't come with me here. Right. So to answer your question, I know it's a long answer to a short question, but finding something that really that dominates you, where you're like, I got to do this. This is it, just like you are as a mother. That dominates you. I can tell by the way you talk about it. It dominates you. And so it moves everything you do. And you don't care how tired you are, how sick you are, how this you are, how bad you feel in those moments. If your daughter, your son, needs something, that you are. You Captain America, you Wonder Woman. Why you still can't see right, why your leg is still hurting, those things don't necessarily go away in a moment, but you put them to the side. And after a while, you get the job done. And so when you put something like love, that love for something, find what you love about what you want to be, or find what you want to be that you love so much that all the other stuff doesn't matter, and it'll fall off. You won't have to fight it, it'll fall off. It'll overwhelm you, it'll intoxicate you, it'll keep you up, it'll wake you up, it'll put you to sleep well, it'll do everything to you and for you. You won't have to fight. So hopefully that answers your question. All right, anyone else before we move forward? Okay. I'm gonna come back to the state thing. Okay, put the picture up.
Now we're doing pictureless.
This,
I'm ready.
ladies and gentlemen, is we may only get through two things today. One was the science. I want you to understand that what you have programmed, your genes, your ideas are what are governing your life. If you try to manipulate the economy, try to manipulate the world, try to manipulate people, just like trying to manipulate your hair color, it'll work for a second, but the truth is gonna come back. If you're sick all the time because that's your idea, okay. If you're broke all the time because that's your idea, your ideas are your genes. They are producing your expressions. If you want to change your body, meaning your expressed outcome, if you want to change that, you have to change the program. You have to change your idea, your concept of something. That is what is expressing in your life, period. You can change your hairdo all you want, but it's gonna come back. You can drink organic wheatgrass, but it ain't gonna help. Make you feel good for a second, it ain't gonna help. It's just what it is. I'm just gonna tell you, can put everything in your business on sale, sell a couple things, you'll be right back where you are next month. With less product, didn't even make all your money, and then now you're right back to where you were. You have to change your program.
Oh, I
Yes.
wanted to share what Leslie wrote.
Yes.
External safety is an illusion. When you are safe with your mind, you are safe everywhere. When you are strong in your mind, strength is when you are strong in your mind, strength is what you are.
Safety, strength. What are these two things?
Ideas.
Say that again.
Ideas.
Ideas. Who came up with the idea?
The person.
The person.
Yeah.
So these two things, safety and strength, money, health, these are all ideas. All of us came up with these ideas. All of these are living with these ideas. If we came up with it, that means safety is your idea of it. And if it's your idea, you is inside. So safety is an inside job. Health is an inside job. Money is an inside job. Strength is an inside job. If you came up with weights are not what make you strong. Here's what I mean by that. Here's what I'm saying. You had to know what strength was in order to even create a weight to actually use to get strong. You had to have the concept of strength in your mind. You had to do that. It had to be there already. You had to have the understanding so that you would know you got it by lifting weights, or that you could create a weight to do that. It's like education. You're pulling something from the inside out. There's muscle in you. You're aware of what strength is. So then you're aware of what to create to pull out that. You're introducing yourself to a weight, but the muscle is already in you. The ability, the capacity to grow it and develop it is already in you. That's education. It's training. You're dragging out that which already is. You're not making it. It already is there. The muscle's already in you. You're just providing an experience and opportunity to acquaint yourself with it, called a weight. But you had to know what strength was. You had to already know what this was. And so the idea, strength is just an idea that is, as Kari said, expressed. But strength is expressed according to you. Your idea of it, of safety, of money, of health. These are just ideas. But they're your ideas. So they are going according to your concept of yourself. And as whatever you think you are now attaching that ID to health. That's why you said, what I think I am, my concept of myself, and relationship plus health equals what? That's what it is you're doing all the time, every day. That's why, to Leslie's point, it's true. Nothing on the outside can save you. Nothing can save you. It can't. I know we like to think we can. It can't. Safety is an inside job. Strength, money, health, they're all inside jobs. They are genetic, so to speak. They're ideas, so to speak. And your idea, your concept of yourself in this area in relation to this is what's going to be expressed. You can try to manipulate the outside, lock your door, manipulate the outside, put your seatbelt on, manipulate the outside, drink some wheatgrass, manipulate the outside, go to the gym every day, manipulate the outside. You can do 1,000 things to manipulate the outside, but it's just like dyeing your hair. It's gonna, whatever you think is gonna come back. What did Job in the book say? That which I greatly feared has come upon him. Whatever came upon him, he already greatly feared. Fear is the opposite, let's say, of safety. So strength, safety is an inside job, so is fear. And that which he greatly feared, that was first. The fear he already had in the book came upon. What he had came upon. The idea came out. The gene expressed. If you can get this, you will be what?
Free.
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 I'm talking about like Sunday in the South. Free like that. Come on, man. When you start busting out your old middle school dances in the aisle, running up and down, don't even care if that your good hat fall off. Come on, man. Not even looking at your purse for that second. You just out here like, hey, nobody steal from me. I'm just out here running up and down the aisle. I'm just back. I'm boom. Now, before that, you sit up there in the whole service with your purse in your lap like this, like a running back, like you in the NFL. Like don't nobody touch my purse. I can't put it on the ground. I'm not going to hang it on the chair. It's right here in my lap. Boy, as soon as you start feeling good, purse go up in the air, hat go off in the air, you run up and down the aisle like you in middle school PE. Arthritis gone, bad ankle gone, your knee don't hurt, back all right now, carpal tunnel, you back up, right? Vertigo straight now, you everything good. Come on, man. Seriously, I hope you guys are getting this because I'm getting this. You better get something from it. Get you.
I'm getting it.
That's it. See what I'm saying, right?
It's like my grandma in the casino. Everything's good when she's there.
That's it. When you put your mind, Sparkle, on what you really want, all the other stuff fades away because it can't exist without your attention. It can't exist without your attention. Everything remains in our life. It comes into our life and remains in our life because of our attention. What comes, we don't realize what we maybe gave our attention, and why things won't leave is because we don't realize that we're keeping our attention on it. When we turn our attention to what we want, whatever we are focused on expands. Like what I said, the longer you stay, the more you'll see. The longer you stay in the state of mind of health, the more of it you'll see. The longer you stay in the state of mind of wealth, the more of it you'll see. You'll start to see more of it. You'll start to see it express itself. You'll start to see your consciousness becomes more awakened to it. It's like, oh, I didn't know this was here. I didn't know this was here. Girl, I didn't know you had a cat. What you mean? You've been over here 10 times. Yeah, but I only come by and just pick you up. And then you hear this thing, girl, what's that? Oh, that's my cat. I didn't know you had a cat. You don't spend any time in there. How would you know? You just come pick her up. You never come inside. It never came up. Right? But it doesn't mean this thing isn't here. The longer you stay, the more you'll see. When you keep going back and back and back and back to your idea of what you want. Yeah, I know I don't feel healthy today, but I am healthy. Let the weak say I am strong. Let the poor say I am rich, because that's the truth. Right? The more you keep coming back to it, the longer you stay, the more you'll see. When you stay in that state of mind of, I am what I want to be. I'm a successful business owner. I am perfectly healthy. I am this, or I have this, or I do this. The longer you stay in that state of mind, the longer you keep associating with that, the longer you keep birds of a feather flock together. Yeah, right. You keep flocking with the same stuff, you're going to keep getting the same stuff. You change your flock, you change your thing. You don't ever see no pigeons flying with no hawks. You just ain't gonna see it. Right? Do you know, I think I said this before, but I'll say it again just in case. Do you know that a hawk, when it flies, there's only one bird that will get on a hawk's back? You guys know what that is? I think I might have said this before. Do you guys know what that is?
An
There's
eagle?
only one bird that will jump on a hawk.
So yeah, we didn't hear.
So
An
when a
eagle?
hawk is flying,
What was that? An eagle?
That's what I said.
Okay.
okay,
We didn't hear.
Right?
Sorry.
when it's flying, there's only one bird that will get on there. It's not an eagle. It's a crow.
Oh.
It's a crow. Crows are some of the smartest animals in the animal kingdom. Crows.
Mhm.
They actually really are. They're very intelligent, right? But they'll jump on there. Do you know what a hawk does when a crow gets on his back? Do you know how it gets it off?
Mhm.
Flies higher.
Flies higher.
Oh.
Flies higher. It just basically suffocates. You can't go up here with me. You're not like that. When you have your mind right and you keep going up, people can jump on you, talk about you, talk crazy to you, do all kinds of stuff. Just keep going up.
Mm.
They'll fall off. You ain't got to beat them off. Okay, really? Okay. Guess what? Guess what that oxygen is doing to them? It's giving them all that business. Have that oxygen choking the heck out of it. Slapping it around. After a while, it just jumps off. I've enough. Like Jim Rome, enough. I'm out. I'm gotta jump off. The ride has been nice. Yeah, I'm just gonna ride you up to the top. You don't have these wings. You don't have this mind. You don't have this body. You don't have that. You just keep going up. When you keep going up in your mind, when you keep realizing who you are, you will do things that other people can't do, can't understand. It's not against them. It's not for them or against them. It's just you have a right to live your own life. You have the right to fly higher if you want. You have the right to think better if you want about yourself, about your life, about every aspect of everything. You have the right to do that. But as a result, everybody else may not make that choice. So if you were once a pigeon and now you're a hawk or an eagle, guess what? You're not going to see the same people around as like you used to. You didn't do anything to them. They didn't do anything to you. You're just two different birds. You can't flock together. Right? So these are all inside jobs. All ideas are inside jobs. And in order to express them, right, you have to maintain the image of them. Once you do that, like your black hair or your brown hair, it's genetic. It's going to come out. You don't have to do nothing for it. You don't have to do nothing to make that happen. It's just going to keep coming because that's what it is. Okay? That's what it is. So hopefully that everybody get that? Everybody have an understanding of that?
Yes.
I
Yes.
got it.
I mean, come on. Do I have to put on some kind of yellow suit and a hat like and get it and be at a pulpit for everybody to say yay and amen and jump around? What's taking so long?
Absolutely not. This was awesome.
Amen.
It's my fingernails and this mute button. I'm gonna blame it on that.
Awesome. Good. I just want us to get it. I just want us to get it because I want us to get it, to live it, to apply it so you can see. You can see that you can fly. you can see, man, that you up there. You can see that everything is up to you. It's on you. That is your true freedom, right? To really be whatever you want to be. And if you're willing to focus on, if you're willing to move there in your mind, if you're willing to move to that state of mind where you are that, and you're willing to stay there, the longer you stay, the more you'll see. Okay, picture's going up, because now we're going to the next thing. All right. Obviously, it's a trick question, but try to answer it anyway. What is, I know you don't know, there's no way you can know with the way I'm phrasing the question too, I know that, but I just wanna, why not? What is interesting about this picture?
For me, the thing that's interesting is there are elements that people enjoy, but no people in the actual picture.
Okay, that was deep. I like it. That was deep. Okay, you got Socrates and showed up. All right, I like it.
Sparkle Bailey was asking what the question is.
What's interesting about this picture? What does it make you think of? What are your, when you see the picture, what's interesting to you? What do you think?
There's no composition to it. It's a collage of a lot of different concepts and ideas kind of put together to give you a feeling, but not really a logical scene, more of a perception.
Okay.
I see Colombia because of the flag colors and the hat. I don't know much more. Coffee also.
Okay.
But the rest, like the palm tree, the beach, the flowers, of course, that reminds me of back home.
Okay. Okay. Right. All right. Anybody else want to guess?
She kind of took my answer. I was saying the same thing. It reminds me like everything, like it's an embodiment of Colombia, like down to the colors that are being used, the elements in the picture, the seascape, even like the little, I don't even know what this is underneath the coffee. Like we know, you think
That's
Colombia,
flag.
you think coffee,
Flag color.
but no, not just the flag colors. It's like little beads.
Oh yeah.
I don't know, but
That's pretty
I'm
cool.
not from Colombia, so, but I am from, my family's from Jamaica, so like I understand what you're saying, Vero. Like,
Right.
yes, like all of this is like an embodiment of Colombia.
Oh, and you guys are so wonderful and articulate. No, F everybody. Now what? So watch this. And
Wait, Lynn
yes.
just put in the chat, you can create your own idea about this picture based on the things
Yes.
on the beach.
Yeah, you can create, and really you can create your own idea about this picture. For one reason, watch this.
Are you gonna write
Now,
the word?
yeah, so, all right, so just everybody, well, I'll leave it at 5 more seconds. Everybody just take a real good look at it. Because I want you to think about what you're thinking about when you're looking at this picture. So we'll leave it up for 5 seconds in silence. That's not silent. All right, here we go. Now watch this. Okay, what is we've been talking about this all day. What is a picture? What is a picture?
An idea.
Say that again.
What is a
Say
picture?
that again.
An expressed idea.
An expressed idea. Okay, so we have expressed idea. So then that's the end. What is the beginning?
The idea.
The idea. What are we missing?
The expression.
What do you mean by expression?
Creator.
The work.
Work?
The realization of it, the drawing it forth.
All I
Okay,
can
well,
think
that's
is like art in motion, like the motion of it happening. Like
Creation.
expression of it happening. I'm over here like moving my hands. I know you guys can't see me.
Okay, so you're talking about like how it became,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
Okay, Okay, so you have the idea, then you have the expression. So this painting you see is a direct reflection of this idea. Everybody agree with that, right?
Like the result of the product.
The result of the process. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Okay. Now, everybody ready for this? This is super important. This right here we talked about is like, okay, this. Now, you know what's interesting about this picture? The artist drew it with their feet. Anybody think that? Did anybody even assume that?
No.
Like honestly, did anybody think this was drawn, painted with their feet?
It's
No.
external data.
I did not.
No, not at all.
Right? Not at all, right? So,
No.
so. Now, whose idea was it? It was the artist's idea, right? So
Yeah.
the artist, and the art are what?
One.
The
Are
same.
one. Are the same.
The only
They're
thing
one.
that matters. The only thing that
They're
matters.
one.
Yeah.
Now, if someone drew this with their feet and you didn't even consider that, you didn't even say it was impossible. You didn't even consider, it didn't even come across your mind. Then what do feet represent?
Nothing.
Paintbrushes.
From
A tool.
a tool. Idea is from, the expression of the idea is to.
Ray said possibility in the chat.
The middle is through. You have to understand the difference between what is from, what is to, and what is through. Another word for through is how. How am I going to be rich? I want to be rich. Rich is the idea.
Yes.
I want to express that idea. We all get stuck, right, with how's that going to happen? I don't have a degree. I'm a this, I'm a that. That's not going to work. You have to do this. You have to do that. You have to do this. You have to do that. Did anyone here say, with all your brilliant ideas, did anyone say that this painting was done with their feet?
This is awesome.
Right?
The how didn't
No one
matter.
said that. So do you know what that means? I'm sorry, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Kari?
I was just saying, this is awesome. What I'm getting is the how didn't matter. It didn't matter.
It doesn't matter. But you know why it does matter? Because our expectations are lined up so much on the how that we'll miss the possibilities that do exist. We will simply say, because I didn't think it could be painted with a foot, it can't be. But it is. Doesn't matter what you think, but it does. It doesn't matter what you think. You don't, because the point of view that's thinking, the humanity, the human part of you doesn't know everything. What it does know is, I have an idea and I'd like to express the idea.
Yes.
The idea is mine, so it's coming from me to me. But now, so then who do you think is deciding? Who do you think is deciding the through? Who do you think is deciding the mechanism?
That's us and our higher power.
Your higher mind, your consciousness. Your I am is always listening to Kari. Your I am is always listening to Leslie. Your I am is listening to the idea. You're giving it the idea. You're giving it the blueprint for it to work off of. But now it says, okay, what is the best way? This artist, this woman, has no arms. She's from Colombia. She came to America through an art program. She got bullied so bad in school, she dropped out when she was like 10 or 11. And her older sister found some kind of art program to make her feel better, and she has no arms. And she found an art program for her. Now, who would be thinking that? Man, my child has no arms. Let me think about some art. Who would do that? Not most of us. And she found that the girl learned how to paint with her feet. That ability was already in there, and it did not require her arms. But our humanity will say or assume that it does. And so as a result, look how much we missed out on because of the assumption. Our assumption that it has to be a certain way limits all the ways it really could be. That's what I'm trying to tell you. Does that make sense to you?
Yeah, because that feeling can be so overwhelming, like that feeling of controlling the how, which I'm barely starting to like let go of. It's hard to let go of. It's hard to let go of that control. Yeah.
Right. And the reason I'm saying this is because what if she controlled her, tried to control her experience the way we try to control ours? Meaning, what if we are so unwilling to entertain, like Sparkle we're talking about, to entertain the idea, if we get so infatuated with the idea and the expression of it, as Sparkle, Lucky, Kari, Leslie, all of us, if we get so infatuated with the idea, our higher mind is now working on that blueprint, and it will say, what is the best means to do this? Cool, I don't need hands, you need hands. I don't, I can use my feet just like I use these hands. I made them both, I know how they work. And so now you got that picture. So to say you need hands to do that is not true. But because you made it true, you took an option away from yourself. Our expectations take options from ourselves. I gotta have a degree. I gotta have this. I gotta have that. I gotta be this first. I gotta have that. Well, I gotta live here. I gotta move there. I gotta do this. I gotta do that. But that's our higher mind. I mean, that's our carnal mind, our human mind, trying to control it, meaning trying to figure out how to do it. But if you knew, if you would have just based it on what you knew, you would never get that picture, because no one would say, oh yeah, she painted that with her feet. No one would ever even thought about that. When we say painting, we think hanging most of the time. So this is not a theory. This is that picture. I put it up here for a reason. This is not theory that you can paint with your feet. This is not theory that you're through. The mechanism, the ways in which your higher mind will make this idea, this picture, externalized is through. It will find the through. Your job is to have the idea that you want externalized and let your higher self, which you would call God or consciousness, by assuming yourself to say, you know what, this is what I want, I am that. Now that I am that, that is what we call the blueprint. And just like Kari said, right, blueprint is an expressed idea. This is the blueprint. So now your higher mind, your consciousness, when you say, I am an artist, your consciousness says, well then, all right, let's pick it up. Let's go, bring the feet up, let's get it. I mean, does the picture look okay to everyone? Did it work out? Did the picture work out?
Yes.
I mean, does it look like the picture suffered because she drew it with her feet?
No.
Do you see any type of deformity? Do you see, so if you don't see any deformity in the picture, in the expression of the idea, that means there's no deformity in the expression in the idea itself. So if your idea is clear, your outcome will be clear. And your through is clear to a different part of you, which you call God, your consciousness, the universe, whatever you want to call it. It doesn't matter what you call it. All you have to do is be willing to assume I am. I am is your consciousness. And it says whatever you attach to it, that you will become. I will power what you choose. You chose painter in this example. I am, you don't get to choose. That's who you are. Now, what you do as what you are, you get to choose in that sense. You are consciousness. Now, whatever you attach that consciousness to becomes alive. So everything is from you to you. Now, this painting, what else could this painting be? It's an expressed idea. What else could this painting be? Instead of painting, what can you swap this out with?
Feelings?
Okay.
Ray said your own desire outcome.
Yes.
Your
Okay.
own
But
desired
give me an example. We have desires every day. What could this painting be?
It could have been a physical products.
Your business, your health, your money. It's an idea that you want expressed, right? Now, what stops us from having good health? What stops us from having the money that we have a desire for, that we have the idea for? This part right here. The through and the how. We think we need arms. We think we need a degree. We think we need to know the right people. It's not what you know, it's who you know. We think we need to do this. We think we need to do that. So our human mind goes over all of these different things, but what happens if you don't have hands? What happens now? You just quit? Because she made a picture that we're all sitting here looking at. But nobody, I'm sure there weren't too many people clapping around saying, yeah, you can do it, right? Especially in Colombia. But she's living in New York now. She has she has her artwork up in a gallery. With no hands. All of us got hands. How many of us got artwork up in a gallery?
Right.
She moved from another country and has her art up in an art gallery. She's featured in the newspaper.
Yes, let me share it one more time. So Ray,
Yeah, I want you guys to see it. I want you to look at what that is. This is your business. You don't need hands. This is a business. You can
I'll
use your
add the
feet.
picture to the replay post.
You can use your feet. You can use your hands. You can use your mouth. Your awareness, your consciousness knows how to get the pictures done. If you just get out of the way, if you stop closing the roads down, when you live somewhere a long time, and when you live somewhere and you're driving, when you live somewhere for a long time in a state of mind, and you're driving, what's the benefits of living in a place a long time when you're driving?
Say that again.
What is the benefit of living in a place? Like you lived in California your whole life, or New York your whole life, or in a city your whole life, and you're driving a car now. What is the benefit?
Ray, were you saying something we couldn't hear?
Yeah, I was saying you know how to get around. Like you can unconsciously get home. I didn't even remember that drive. Like I'm just here.
Right. You know how to get around. Doesn't that picture tell you your higher mind knows how to get around? Having no hands, living in Colombia,
Right.
it doesn't know how to get around. It doesn't know how to get you to that art gallery, how to get you to New York, how to get that idea from in you to out of you. It doesn't know how to get around. And would you say unconsciously? It means it doesn't require your human consciousness to do it. Just your permission. It doesn't need your help. It just needs your permission. Your idea doesn't need your help. It needs your permission. Your desire doesn't need your help. It needs your permission. It doesn't need your help. If I were to use the word help, it doesn't need your help. It needs you to not sabotage it. To not talk it down, to not talk it away. Your higher mind knows how to get around. It knows how to make everything happen. When you talk about your business, we talked about money last week. We talked about lender and a debtor. Both of those are God. The lender, the person who has the money, and the person who's getting the money is one being with two different reflections of itself. It's from two. We talked about it last. It's the same thing, right? Your business, you have an idea of your business. Whether it's the good, the product, or the service, and then you have the expression of the idea. What you want the outcome to be. So your idea is what you want it to be expressed. Now you have this thing here. You have the artist and you have the art. You have the business and you have the business owner. You have the outcome of that thing. They're both you. This in the middle is what we talk about being God, consciousness. This is all you. It's all one. And when you have this idea, one, and two, you are willing to move into that state, you will do just like Ray said, you will get around. And Ray, what was the word you said after that?
Unconsciously.
Say it again.
Unconsciously.
And what does unconsciously represent? What does that mean?
It means you don't have to think about it. It's innate, it's automatic.
Why do you not have to think about it? Because it's innate, it's automatic. So it doesn't
It's programmed.
It doesn't need
I don't know what.
your help. It doesn't need Ray's help. It doesn't need Lucky's help. It doesn't need Leslie's help. It doesn't need Sparkle's help, Gavin's help, LaToya's help. It does not need your help. That part of the equation you can't help. I'm going to get to this. Do your job. Your job is 1 and 2. The idea, desire, expressed idea, expressed desire. That is your job. What do I want? And now I'm believing that it's so. Whether it's what I am, what I'm doing, what I'm having. This part here is not your job. It knows how to get around. Unconsciously means you have nothing to do with it. Your human part has nothing to do with that. If you are willing to stay, the longer you stay, the more you see. The longer you stay in the state of mind of your desire being achieved, it will show up like that. Painting. You will, this here could be $1 million business. This could be IMG Academy. This could be the Shopify master. This could be the real estate educator. This could be all the things that all of you individually have expressed either to me online or just whatever your friend, whatever the idea is for you. All you have to do is 2 parts. Humanly, in your human mind, you have 2 things to do. What is your desire? It can be specific or general. You may say, I want $1 million business, specific. Or you may say, man, I want to be so successful that I can't even count all the money. You know what that means. You know what the outcome of that is to you, what the feeling of that is to you. I just want to be so successful, I can't even stand it. I just want to be successful so easy that people ask me, do I even work?
And Gavin said, I see what you did there.
Yeah, I know. Come on, man. I'm always weaving it in. Because guess what? This is not no seminar, in my best English. This is not no seminar, sermon, Sunday service, Saturday service. This is information for you to put your boots on the ground, bat on the ball, wig on your head, cream in your thing, and whatever it is. This is what it's for. It's for you to take it and live and realize how to apply it to the life you live. This is not something for us to feel good about feeling bad, feel better about doing terrible. This is not about that. This is not somewhere to come and be humble, somewhere to come and just be happy with what you got. This is not that place. You can do that tomorrow, in person or on TV. There's a lot of people say you be happy with what you got. Dressed up real nice. I'm here to tell you to take what you want because it's yours. This whole world is yours. It's all yours. You taking what you want is not taking from someone else. God can't take from himself. I don't care how much you want. You can't take enough. Anybody ever go to the beach and see kids like, jumping in the water or somebody actually drank some water and there's coughing and everything like that, anybody ever think, man, they're gonna make the water run out? Anybody ever go to the beach wondering, is there not, man, I sure hope they got enough water today. I mean, what are we talking about here? You can't drink enough of the ocean water to make it go away. You can't ask for enough for it to be impossible. You've got to be out of your mind. It's not possible. You can't ask for enough. You can't be enough. There's no cap on your good. There's no cap on your God. There's no cap on you. Because your good, your God, and you are one. Your good, your God, and you are one. Your God is for your good. This is where God comes in. This is where your I am comes in, meaning your consciousness. Your consciousness is always out, is what you're using. This is the conduit. This is the wall. This is your computer. This is the wall. And this is the cord. Is anybody over there looking at the cord in their computer plugged into the wall like, man, what's it doing? Is it? I wonder what it looks like. What's it doing? And I was like, hey, can you see it? Come over here. Can you see it? What's it doing inside the cord? Yeah, I see the cord. What's it doing inside? Anybody sitting around doing that? No. No, all you care is that when you plug it into the wall, it come on. My best English, it come on. It come on. Right? This through is your higher mind that is always working on its genetics, from its genes. It's always programming. It's always saying, okay, this is their concept. This is the idea. Let's make it work. Your gene, your idea, your blueprint. It's always working. That's the construction worker. They are putting it together. Your house, your business, your building, whatever else it is. All you are tasked with is the idea and the outcome. As far as this is my outcome is a reflection of my idea. As long as I hold the idea, the outcome must be a reflection of it. How that happens is my higher mind's job. When I say, you know what? This is what I want to be. I'm not that right now. Okay, but I can be. So what do I want to be? And I can be anything. For real? Yeah, for real. For real, for real? Yeah, for real. Right? And then you say, okay, I am now willing to be this. This is that painting. The idea is what comes up in your mind, And the expression of that idea is if you got what you wanted. Well, how do you do that? By saying, I am this now. I don't mean literal words, just the actual intention, saying, you know what? This is who I am now. When she decided to paint that picture, the image was clear. Was the painting finished when she first decided? No, but in her mind it was, in the most important place it was. And her higher mind unconsciously knows how to get around. How to get around them hands, no hands. How to get out of Colombia. How to get it to be your own thing. And do you know her sister who helped her is missing? Can't find her over a decade. And her brother is gone. And she had no hands and she's out. All the things we think it takes to work are not necessarily true, but we make them true. And so essentially what we end up doing is we end up cutting off our own hands and then won't even consider our feet. We end up our options, like that's the benefit of being around a city that you live in so long as you know how to get around. You realize if that street doesn't work, I can go here, I can go there, I can go here, I can go there. That's the benefit of being in that place for so long. When you are in your mind that I'm an artist, when you're in your mind that I have a successful business, I make $1 million a year, easy. Dude, it's easy work. That's the idea of your expressed, that's your expressed idea. Now, you don't have to have any hands. You don't have to have any feet. You don't have to have a mouth. You can have whatever. When that idea comes, it means it's possible for you. Otherwise, it wouldn't have come. Your desires don't come because they're impossible. They come because they're possible. But they come because they're impossible without you. That's the difference. They're impossible without you. They don't need your help as in what you're going to do about it. They need your help as in facilitation. Just give me the body, the child will grow. Just give me the soil, the seed will grow. Just do your job. Water it, right? Decide, put it in some light. That's it. How it grows, the mechanism. Like Kari said, the mechanism. We're assuming the mechanism, we're always assuming what it is. And a lot of times it's to our detriment. It limits our options. Well, I don't have any hands, I guess can't be a painter. Well, I went down this street, road closed, I guess I can't get to work. Everybody's like, why don't you go around? Why don't you take the freeway? Why don't you take the back streets? Guess what all those are? Freedom. Those options represent your freedom. The longer you're in a state of mind, the longer you're in a state where you live, you learn how to get around unconsciously. You're always free. One road can be blocked, so what? I'm gonna go the other way. 2 roads, I'm gonna go the other way. I'm gonna get there. Your higher mind, your true self knows how to get there. It doesn't need your help, just your permission, just your facilitation in the sense of just providing the environment of, you know what, I am so. Whether it's what I am or I have or I be or I do, I am that now. I have no way of making that happen. She had no hands to make that happen. You didn't need hands, you used feet. I want to be a millionaire in my business. I want to have perfect health. I want to do this. You don't need this. It's not about it. You have what you need. That's why you have the idea. That picture is your business. That picture is your health. That picture is your relationships or are your relationships. That picture is ING. That picture is the end result of the idea. And you can't have an idea without the ability to express it. Now, you can go without expressing it. You can, but you would never have the idea without it. And if you're willing to live in the end, if you're willing to assume you already are something, it will draw it with feet. It will draw with your mouth, your eyeballs, your teeth. With the F, it'll draw with your teeth. It'll draw with your eyelids, your earlobe, whatever it is. It will use the most effective and efficient mechanism for you to get this idea expressed. The painting is proof. The painting is proof. Your desire is already your proof, if you're just willing to go with it. And it will lead you right to it if you assume it. It will lead you right to it. You have no idea how many streets, how many ways there are in life to do things. Your higher mind knows them all. All the back streets, all the cuts, all the alleyways that look like they leave, but then if you turn right and then turn left, you're like, I would have never known that. Yeah, but it's there. We would have never thought that was with feet. Don't matter what we think, but because of what we think, we limit our options. We're so smart, we think ourselves right out of everything and into nothing.
Right.
We think ourselves right where we are, stuck, and all of our brilliance and all of our oratorical genius sounding like Barack Obama or Dr. Michael Eric Dyson. Or talking Houston, and like, what? Right? We'll talk ourselves into nothing when we could have had it. Does everybody understand that? Like for real, do we understand that?
Yes.
I do. For real.
Oh, there you go. That's right, man. Somebody's right, man. Yeah.
Coach Lucky, this was so on point today. You have challenged so many of just like my beliefs that I didn't even realize were beliefs until this lesson. So yeah, thank you.
Oh, wonderful.
And
Wonderful.
said, yes, ready to take action.
Wonderful. Wonderful. That makes me so happy. Like I told Kari, and like I tell some of you, especially that get on earlier before 7, because we open it at 6:30. 6:30 to 7 is just testimony time, whatever. But when you all come back and tell me like, yeah, I did it, and I did that, and I did this, and I did that, because of realizing who you are, and realizing you can do it, to apply it, to live it, to realize, man, you are that action. You are the action. You are the action. So the action is going according to you. You are the artist, right? You are the liver. That's why you have a life. You are the artist. That's why there's art. The art can't be any greater than the artist, right? Your life can't be any greater than the liver, so to speak, the person who's taking action. And so this is to inspire us, not to motivate. That's cool too, but to inspire. I want all of us to be lit up from within. To say, oh, wait, hold it on, wait a minute. What have I been missing?
Ray typed, I am no longer cutting off my arm.
That's it. That's it. And right, you realize that whatever desire you have the mechanism to achieve it. Otherwise, it wouldn't have come to you. Right? Just be willing to assume that whatever your desire is, if it turns you on like that, and that's what you want to be, to do, or have, assume it. Give it parentage. Step into that state. And assume, and the more you're in that state of mind that you already are this thing, just like moving to a new state, moving to a new city. Yeah, you're really there, but you don't know nothing. You don't know anyone. You don't know where the street leads to. You don't know the traffic lights. You don't really realize how much you know about your city when you're there a long time. I can drive up and I can look and I can tell how long a light's going to take just based on how many cars are there. I'm like, this light automatically turns pretty quick. This one doesn't. Have you ever noticed how much about your city you actually know that you don't even really realize, but you use every day?
Leslie put in the chat, you are only limited by the limits you set for yourself.
Right. Because everything is coming from you to you. And the mechanism in the middle is the means you use to experience it. When you are hungry, you feed yourself as you mature, right? And what do you use in the middle? A knife, a spoon, a fork. Could you use your hands? Yeah, some meals you do. But you identify the best mechanism to get the best mechanism to get it to you.
Would it be correct to change the to you for you?
Yeah, it just means you're giving it to yourself. It's coming from you to yourself, for yourself. You are the giver and the gift.
Only because I guess you don't want it to mix it with this things are happening to me versus for me. That's the only reason I thought about that.
Yeah, it's just like it's like when you buy yourself some flowers, let's say, right? Oh, I bought these for me.
Right.
Or, yeah, so it just depends on kind of what it is you have. Sometimes you say for myself or to myself, or I did this to myself, right? Like, so sometimes it's just the context in which you use it. But yes, the spirit of it is the same. It is all coming within, out, within, out, above, below. It's all coming within you. Everything is within you. Your muscles are within you. Strength is within you. Peace is within you. These are all inside jobs that we want to become expressed. Money is no different. Health is no different. Friendships are no different. Success is no different. How successful you are is no different. How successful you are is no. Okay, are you guys ready for this? Your clients or your customers, however you want to say it, are not the cause. They are the reflection. Your customers, your clients, these are for all you business people. Because I don't really talk too much about general or about specific things unless I'm talking to a specific person about a specific incident they're talking about or desire. Usually what I'm doing here, my intent is to give you the foundation that you can apply in all the different directions that you go. Once you see the principles about health, it's the same thing as money, same thing as your business, same thing as everything else. Once you understand the principles. So then I let you guys take it off and apply to what's important to you. But I'm gonna get a little more specific just for this instance. Your clients or your customers are not the cause of your failure or success. They are the reflections of your failure or your success. They are coming as a direct result of your consciousness of what you need to be. When that lady painted that picture, she had to use certain colors because it reflected the idea. She couldn't use maybe purple for the flag. It wouldn't have went. She could use blue for the leaves. It wouldn't have made it look like a tree necessarily. Everything that we are, that is in this case, we'll use our business. When your business is your express idea. It's your idea. So everything that you use in the middle, these are your clients. These are your customers. They're in the middle. They're in the middle of your business being open. You give them the money and your business stays open. So your higher mind is always finding a way to get around unconsciously what people reflects this outcome. What person reflects this outcome? When you have a salad and you're an adult, you don't get out a knife only. I've seen people cut salad up. I've seen it, right? But you don't use a knife only. You definitely use a fork, right? You find the most effective and efficient way to have your expressed idea, to express your idea. Your consciousness is always working on what your idea is. It's always working on this to bring you this. So if your idea is, I have a successful business, but it's hard work, you're going to get clients that will pay you, but it's going to be hard work. They're going to call you 58 times, whatever's hard for you. They may call you 58 times. They may ask you to make 12 changes. They may say, well, can I get, they are going to reflect your concept of hard work, of success and hard work. They're not exclusive, right? You have different genes in your body, one for your elbow, one for your knee. They do completely different jobs, but they're in the same body. Your business is a body, it's one unit, so to speak, right? So you have different concepts of different parts of it. What your business is, how it goes, how it doesn't go, when it goes that way. Do you have ups? Do you have downs? All of those things are going to be reflected in this middle. Cause your knife, your spoon, your fork, or in this case, your clients or customers. They're reflections of your idea expressed. You're using this to express your idea.
There's a question.
Yes.
Julie asked, is there a difference between ideas from within versus ideas that arise from what we may see on social media?
Yes, because ideas of what you see on social media 99% of the time are personal, and they are people trying to ascribe their success to certain things. Meaning some people think, some people like Diddy or other people think you should work all day and night and never go to sleep and grind and work 3 days, don't brush your teeth, stay up all night, stand up straight, don't even eat, forget to eat, hustle so hard, grind so strong, don't do nothing. Other people don't think their business has to be that. They're just like, man, money comes to me effortless and easy. Everybody loves what I have to offer, loves to pay me what I want, loves to refer other people who do the same. Because remember, business is an idea. And if it's your business, it's your idea. And what happens is we have an idea about our business, then we go on, I'm going to use social media as any external thing. Then we go on our idea, we take our idea that's internal, and then we sell it externally. We present it to like the baby, to the Lion King, and say, hey, I have this idea, what do you think? Well, I think for your idea, you should stay up for 3 days straight, tell your spouse you won't see him, don't talk to you because you're out here grinding and hustling, and tell your kids, daddy will be back or mommy will be back. And so what happens is we have an internal idea and we present it to the world and they reshape it for us. And they tell us how we should think about it, how hard we have to work for it. So then we include their concepts of our idea into our reality, and we realize now that our idea is our idea, but their experience, their expression of it, right? And I'm telling you to keep the whole thing. I'm telling you that whatever idea you have, now what do you want it to be like? You have a business. What do you want the business to be like? How do you want it to go? Is it easy? Is it hard? Is money easy does it always come into your business easy and effortlessly? Do you have to find a lot of people or people just find you? They're all ideas. They're all choices. And you get to make them all. You get to make them all. Did that answer your question?
Yeah.
I want you to understand that when we talked about the genes and we talked about your idea is what's going to be expressed. You can manipulate it. But how many people here like to go to a car lot? How many people like that?
To go where?
To a car lot.
There?
How many people like to go car shopping?
Oh, no.
Again, Kari?
I like the idea of getting a new car. I don't like the process.
What is the process?
It's long, it's laborious, it's snaky, it's work.
Why do you, now isn't that funny? We all like the thing, but we hate this part. And where do you think, and so we don't like it, so and the salesperson doing it, right? We don't like to be manipulated. We feel like we're being manipulated, we don't like it. But the salesperson is manipulating us. Why are they doing that? Why are they manipulating us and we came to them? Why are they doing that?
We're letting them.
Why are they doing it though? Doesn't matter whether we let them or not, they tried it before.
Commission.
No,
For gain.
why are they doing it?
Their job.
No.
They want a
Because
certain
we're all
result.
programmed to believe this,
Program to believe what?
that they're gonna be sneaky towards us, and that the car buying process is this laborious thing that takes all day, when in reality it doesn't.
Oh, okay, that's true too. But there's a reason. That's true too. But there's a reason. But we all of us have had enough experiences, right, to have that experience. Why do we have that experience? That what
That's
you say
their
is true.
program.
Say it again.
That's their program.
That's their program.
Yeah.
Now, none of us like to manipulate. None of us like to be manipulated. But how many people, when you have your business, tell you you have to do the same? You don't like to be manipulated when you go to a car lot, and as soon as somebody comes to you, people are telling you, you got to sell them. Don't give them nothing unless it's free. Don't give them all your good stuff. Don't do this. Don't do that. You make sure you don't tell them everything. Tell them just enough where they want to make sure that they have to come to you. You're doing the same thing that you hate for the same reason they're doing it. How come you're a better person than them? They're doing it for the same reason you're doing it, because somebody told you that's what you have to do to get what you want. Somebody told you that you have to manipulate someone else, because what they're essentially telling you is that your clients and your customers are the cause of your success. But what did we say earlier? That can't be true. Your success is just like safety, security, money, and health. It's an inside job. It doesn't matter how hard you work. You're never going to get ahead if there's no concept of success in your mind. That's not a blueprint to work from. Doesn't matter how grand you want this building to be, and your blueprint is a 1-bedroom shack. What are the construction workers going to build? They're working off the blueprint. They're working off of your idea that is expressed. If you understand that your business is yours, that means it's a reflection of you. Well, what are you reflecting? What is your concept of what your business is, how it goes, and everything else? That is going to be reflected in the middle. Your higher mind is going to find the knife, the fork, the spoon, the hand, or the foot, the mouth, the client, the customer, that is going to express that end. If you change the gene, if you change the idea, if you change the thought, you're going to change the end. And if you change the end, you automatically change the middle, because the middle is a reflection of the end, it's the conduit. It's the wire between the wall and the computer. But some wires, just because they're black, don't mean they fit your computer and the wall. Some only have 2 prongs and you need 3, or have 3 prongs and you only have 2. You have to get the right one. Your customer and your client is a reflection of what you believe your business is and how it goes. And what most people are doing, just like the car salesman, what most people, car salesperson, woman, whatever, what most people are they are trained to dye their hair red. They're trained to manipulate things because they believe that's what they have to do to get what they want. Doesn't make them bad people. That's what they're trained to do. And guess what? We are. I had a kid I was training this week. He's in 7th grade. And I was talking to him, and he said, he was talking about he wanted to train more days or whatever. And he said, hey, another guy I know referred him to me. And he said, hey, Coach Lucky, he said, he's in 7th grade. He said, he said, you and Leo, the guy who referred him to me, he said, you and Leo are the only ones who tried to help us before you talked about money. You tried to help us and then said, based on what we wanted, what we need, and tried to help us. Everybody else tried to get as much as they could. Everybody else tried to charge as much as they could. They didn't care about helping us. He was in 7th grade, told me this on his own. He said, you're the only person that you guys are the only people who tried to help us to see what we really wanted, see what we really needed, and how you could help us. And then said, okay, well, this is what we can do. Okay, what can you do, this or that or the other? But the point is that he was expressing his cognizance, his awareness of how the relationship made him feel, of how he felt, of how he was treated. But I could treat him that way because I know that my success is based on my consciousness. It's not based on you. I don't know you. I don't know if you have money or not. I don't know if you're going to be dead or not tomorrow. So what is me kissing your butt or me kicking your butt? How are either one of those going to help me? If my life is based on someone I don't even know. I don't know who to kiss up to or who to kick out. Right? But once I understand that my success is an inside job, therefore my consciousness, putting a picture up of consciousness, just like people put a picture of Jesus on the wall, right? Or of the 12 disciples in the dinner, or of their kids. It's something that they look at that makes them feel a certain way. When I put a picture of success in my consciousness up in the mind, in the wall of my mind, and that's what I am focused on daily, then that means clients and customers must come as a reflection of that. That's why it says in the book, if I be lifted up, I draw all men unto me. When your consciousness is lifted up, when you raise it and focus it on something, you draw all the experiences as a reflection of what that consciousness is. So if you are conscious of being successful, you will be. If you're conscious of being successful easily, you will be. If you're conscious of being successful, but it's hard work, it will be. It's all a choice. Your clients and your customers are like a knife and a fork. They are an expression of your desire. You're using it as a conduit to get to your end. And as you get older and more mature, you learn to pick the right silverware for each thing. They're not the cause of your starving or your nourishment. They're a reflection of your awareness of how to use which one. They're a reflection of you, which one you pick. Can't say it's the knife's fault for not being able to eat this soup. You picked the wrong one. But you picked based on your consciousness, based on what you're aware of, based on what you know. So when you change what you know, when you change your consciousness, when you change your awareness, when you change your picture, when you change your gene, you're going to change your expression. Does everyone, I know it's a lot different than what people tell you. People tell you got to manipulate things, you got to manipulate people, you got to put it on sale at this time exactly. Because if you don't what? What do you mean if you don't? If I'm success how many hours a day? Okay, everybody wake up, get on the call, contribute, participate. If you are success, when is that? When is that?
All the time.
Anytime. Anytime.
Right. Okay, let me get it to you different. God is good.
All the time.
Every day. Right? Okay.
Yeah.
Success. If you are success, when is that?
Now.
All the time.
All the time.
Now. All the time. Every day. What do you mean? Every day. You are success every day. You are health every day. You are prosperity every day. You are wealthy every day. You are abundance every day. Every single day. Is there a day to fail? Is there a good day to fail? Is there a good day to invest in a stock and see your stock go from 200 to 20? Is there a good day for that? Is that acceptable? So why should you have a day of failure? Why should that be an expectation or assumption? Why should you accept that? Why should you put that in your consciousness like, yeah, well, you can't win them all. Why not? God does. Ain't nobody throwing the dude out of heaven, let's just say. He ain't been evicted. He ain't laid on the rent. Like I told you a couple weeks ago, diabetes is a long time to have for infinity. High blood pressure is a long time to have. Losing is a long time. It's too long to lose. Win. Expect to win. Change your mind. Change the picture you have up that you are looking at, that you are worshiping. Put success up there, health up there, prosperity up there, abundance up there, ease up there. All right, that's it. And I'm tired of all you guys. Anything else? You guys have got me upset. All right, or anything anybody want to say before I let you guys go on a wonderful, successful Saturday?
Thank you.
Yeah, thanks, Coach.
Pleasure, everyone.
Thank you, Coach Lucky.
My pleasure. Thank you.
Awesome. All right, guys, I will have this up on the replay. If you want to get the email, let me put the link. If you're not subscribed, you can subscribe and you'll get the email for the replay that I'll have up on the website. And you can catch the replays from previous weeks since February this year. So, yeah.
All right, last thing. Remember, the longer you stay, the more you'll see. If you change your concept of your business, change your concept of your health, change your concept, and you start living in that state of mind, living in that city, the more you'll see. The more backstreets you'll see, the more things you'll see. You start living in the success of your business, the more of it you'll see, the more people and things you'll see. Everything is through. Everything is from, to, and through. So now money can come through your business. Money can come through every person, place, situation, circumstance, condition, or thing. There is no limit. You don't need just hands. You got mouth and feet. You take every available street in your city or in your state to get from where you are to where you want to be. Right? It comes through everything. Right? So you make sure you're conscious of being what you want to be expressed, and it will come. All right. Have a great weekend. Appreciate you all.
Bye, guys.
See you next week.
Thank you.
Thank you.